Hello everyone and welcome to another Dungeons & Dragons character build. Today we're going to build Green Arrow from the DC Comics. For the sake of this build, I'm sticking more to the cartoon version from the Justice League and comic source material than from the CW show with Stephen Amell. For stats, we're going to use another standard point array from the player's handbook. You can point by or roll for stats if you want, as always. Just keep the following things in mind. Dexterity is your chief stat since you hide in trees and primarily shoot a bow and arrow. Intelligence is next. You make your own arrows that do a multitude of different things. Constitution next to make sure you're a hardy survivor, followed by Wisdom. You're a survivor, you don't give up. Strength will be on the low side. We don't really need it, but I wanted to make sure your strength isn't negative. And we'll dump Charisma because he's just not the intimidation or persuasion type of guy. Oliver Queen is a human, but being part of a rich family, we could technically call him royalty. Also, those of you who have seen my previous videos know that I tend to power build as much as focus on character flavor. With all that in mind, half-elves get +2 to charisma, helping you avoid a negative modifier, and +1 to 2 other stats, go with dexterity and constitution. You get 60 feet of dark vision, Fey ancestry, which gives you advantage against being charmed and immune to being magically put to sleep, and skill versatility, giving you proficiency in 2 skills of your choice. My choices were nature and stealth. You can do whatever you want. You also get 1 extra language, in addition to Common and Elvish. For this build, I picked Sylvan just because I think this character would spend a lot of time in the woods, but again, you can do whatever you want. Last of all, go with the Outlander background for athletics and survival. You get proficiency with 1 type of musical instrument, another extra language, and a small set of equipment including a staff, a hunting trap, a trophy from a former kill, a set of traveler's clothes, and a belt pouch with 10 gold pieces in it. A feature of the Outlander background is the Wanderer feature, meaning you have a good memory of maps you've read and can always remember general layouts of terrain, settlements, and other natural features. You also know where to find food and fresh water for yourself and up to 5 people, assuming there's access to berries, small game, or water. I thought about using Noble, but since Oliver Queen and Green Arrow are kind of separate entities, I also wanted to get the right skills without having to build a custom background. Leave a comment below whether or not you disagree with this decision. Now that we've covered the basics, let's get to the fun stuff. Fighters at level 1 get 2 skills from the fighter list, go with acrobatics and perception. You also get to pick a fighting style, and the archery style gives you +2 to attack rolls with a ranged weapon. You also get Second Wind, giving you a bonus action to regain HP equal to 1d10 plus your fighter level once per short or long rest. For starting equipment, it should be a no-brainer that you need to pick up a longbow, 20 arrows, and leather armor. Green Arrow doesn't carry a shield, so take 2 martial weapons. I went with twin scimitars because I never once saw Stephen Amell wield a dual-edged sword. Also, pick up a light crossbow with 20 bolts, in case Huntress comes along. Lastly, take the Explorer's Pack because it's a good basic supplies kit. If you opt for starting wealth instead, make sure you grab the longbow, arrows, leather armor, at least 1 scimitar or other finesse slashing weapon, and thieves' tools or tinker's tools. More on that later. At second level, we're going to break off into Artificer. Multiclassing into Artificer, we get proficiency with Thieves' Tools and Tinker's Tools, plus we get Magical Tinkering, which lets you enchant a tiny non-magical object to create a specialized magical effect that lasts forever, until you cancel it or you die. We also get 2 cantrips, go with Acid Splash and Firebolt. For spells at this level, take Jump and Longstrider for enhanced movements. Second level Artificers get Artificer Infusions, magical upgrades to non-magical items. First and foremost, Repeating Shot gives +1 to the attack and damage rolls of a ranged weapon with the ammunition property. That's +3 to attacks when combined with archery, +5 after adding your proficiency bonus, and +8 after adding our dexterity modifier to attack rolls, meaning your lowest attack roll is going to be a 9. If there's no ammo loaded, it creates its own, thereby circumventing the loading property. Enhanced Defense adds +1 to a suit of armor or shield. A Bag of Holding lets you pull a lot of things in an itty-bitty space. Finally, a Rope of Climbing is 60 feet that can hold up to 3,000 pounds. Using an action to speak its command word, one end of the rope moves toward a destination of your choice 10 feet at a time. You can also fasten it, knot it, or have it coil itself up. Now let's jump back over to Fighter and get Action Surge, which gives you an additional action once per rest. Hitting the 3rd level of Fighter, we get to pick up a martial archetype. Nothing would suit Green Arrow more than being a gunslinger. Just kidding. Arcane Archers get Arcane Archer lore, giving them proficiency in nature or arcana. And since you've already got nature proficiency, the choice is obvious. You also get to choose a cantrip, either Druidcraft or Prestidigitation. Personally, I went with Prestidigitation, just because. You also get the Arcane Shot, arrows with unique effects that can be added twice per long rest. First, let's scoop up the Bursting Arrow, an explosive shot that deals 2d6 force damage to the target and every other creature in a 10-foot radius. The Grasping Arrow wraps poisonous brambles around the target, dealing an additional 2d6 poison damage, reducing the target's speed by 10 feet, and causing another 2d6 slashing damage the first time it moves on each turn. The target can get out of this each turn by using its action to remove the brambles with an athletics check, otherwise they dissolve after a minute. Level 4 fighters get our first ability score improvement. Bump your intelligence to get a higher DC on your Arcane Archer saves and your Artificer spells. 5th level fighters get an extra attack, letting you make 2 attacks in the same action. 6th level fighters get another ability score improvement. Bump your dexterity for better stealth checks and more powerful shots. Arcane Archers at level 7 get Curving Shot and Magic Arrow. The first lets you turn a fired arrow towards another target. If you miss your intended target, you can use your bonus action to redirect the attack to another target within 60 feet of it. The second makes your arrows magical for overcoming resistances. You also get another Arcane Shot option. Enfeebling Arrow deals an extra 2d6 necrotic damage, and the target needs to make a Constitution saving throw, having the damage of its weapon attacks until the start of the next turn on a fail. At 8th level, we get another ability score improvement, so if you went for the standard point buy like I suggested, cap off your dexterity for maximum attacks and damage with your longbow. So, with plus 3 from proficiency, plus 5 from dexterity, plus 2 thanks to archery, and plus 1 from repeating shot, you have plus 11 to attack with your longbow, dealing 1d8 plus 2d6 plus 6 damage with your arcane shots. At level 9, we get our first use of Indomitable, letting us reroll a failed saving throw once per long rest. At level 10, fighters get our 4th Arcane Shot option. Shadow Arrow deals an extra 2d6 psychic damage to your target, and on a failed Wisdom saving throw, they are blind beyond 5 feet until their next turn. Level 11 fighters get a second use of extra attack, letting you make 3 attacks in one round. So, therefore, in one round, dealing 3d8 plus 4d6 plus 18 damage using arcane shots along with any other damage modifiers you might have. Level 12 sees yet another ability score improvement, and since hopefully we've already capped our dexterity, go ahead and bump your intelligence again for higher save DCs on your artificer spells and arcane shot saving throws. 13th level fighters get a second use of Indomitable, so you can now reroll 2 failed saving throws per long rest. At level 14, we get yet another ability score improvement, so go ahead and cap your intelligence, making your save DC for arcane shots 18, an impressive DC to have for almost any save. Arcane Archers at level 15 get the Ever-Ready Shot. If you roll initiative and have no arcane shots left, you regain 1 use. You also get another option for your arcane shots. Piercing Arrow makes your arrow ethereal. Rather than making an attack roll, your arrow goes in a straight line 30 feet long, and each creature in that line has to make a dexterity saving throw, taking regular damage plus 1d6 piercing damage on a fail, or half on a success. Since we've maxed out our dexterity and our intelligence, our next ability score improvement will focus on building our constitution for better HP. 17th level fighters get another use of Action Surge and a third use of Indomitable. You can still only use 1 Action Surge per turn, but being able to re-roll 3 failed saving throws per long rest makes up for that. Our last level is the 18th level of Fighter, and as an Arcane Archer, we get our last Arcane Shot option. The Seeking Arrow doesn't require an attack roll. Instead, you designate a creature you've seen in the last minute, and if it's within range of your weapon, your arrow seeks it out. The target must make a dexterity saving throw, and failing that, takes the attack's normal damage plus an extra 1d6 force damage. In addition, you learn its current location. If they succeed on their saving throw, the target takes half damage, and you don't learn its location. Did I say 1d6? Because at level 18, the damage die of all your arcane shots is doubled. That means if your original option deals 1d6 damage, it now deals 2d6. With 6 different opportunities for ability score improvements or feats throughout this build, You can always take a few recommended feats instead of ability score improvements. The Fey Touched feat lets you increase your intelligence, wisdom, or charisma by 1. I went with intelligence. You also learn the Misty Step spell and a first level spell from divination or enchantment of your choice. Neither of these spells require a spell slot, but if you've used one of them once before your next long rest, you can expend a suitable slot you already have. My recommendation: take Hunter's Mark to add a d6 to the damage of every attack made against a marked target for 1 hour. If you're trying to find it, you have advantage on perception and survival checks to locate it. The Alert feat adds 5 to your initiative. You can't be surprised while conscious, and if a creature attacking you is hidden, they do not gain advantage on attack rolls against you. The Observant feat boosts your intelligence or wisdom by 1. You can read a target's lips if you can see them, and you get a +5 bonus to your passive perception and passive investigation. The Sharpshooter feat removes disadvantage from firing your longbow outside of comfortable range. It ignores half and 3/4 cover, and if you take a -5 penalty to an attack roll, you can gain a +10 bonus to its damage roll. Now, assuming you've captured Dexterity, your attack roll after taking this option would still be +9, making your damage roll on one attack 1d8 +16, with your lowest attack roll being 10. And because I like beefy boys, the Tough feat helps you be tough, adding amount to your HP equal to twice your level when you take this feat, plus 2 more every level thereafter. What did you guys think of this video? If you're pissed because I didn't make Green Arrow and a Ranger, please leave a comment below. Don't forget to keep an eye out on my channel. I'll be posting videos for Torbjorn, Traditional Musketeer, as well as another update on the Armorer from The Mandalorian, edited including information with Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can get those notifications that those videos come up. And remember, all will be well. Just keep moving forward.